Good evening and welcome to a brand new month of Let's Talk Business. I truly enjoyed our series last month about Filipinos breaking through. Great guest. Thank you again to Laila Hale, our last week's guest. Now, let me start our show tonight. Well, let me preface it. We're going to start a brand new month. The theme is healthcare sector. So we're going to talk about different business owners or people in the healthcare industry. We'll talk about different healthcare areas that people might be interested in opening a business. But of course, let me start our show tonight with a question. What is the healthcare sector? According to Investopedia, healthcare sector consists of businesses that provide medical services, manufacture equipment or drugs, provide medical insurance, or otherwise facilitate the provision of health care or care to patients. Fact is, the healthcare industry accounts for, check this out, 18% of our GDP, our nation's gross domestic product. In 2020, 18% of it is through the healthcare industry, and it's projected to grow to 20% by 2026. So as for the future of the industry, it is very promising. It's safe to say that. The industry benefits from a strong medical research and development in cooperation with academia and tech industry. So they do spend a lot of money on healthcare. There's a large aging population, such as the baby boomers, which will keep the industry busy. As most people say, the one thing that we are all sure of is we will all need healthcare eventually. Spending in the healthcare is projected to grow on average of about 5.5% annually. And by 2030, census projects the number of Americans over 65 will be higher than the Americans under 18. Wow, that's really staggering. Now, like all industries, healthcare has their challenges as well. Some of these are regulations, licensing, costs, especially for research and development, transaction costs, and many more. But I still believe that healthcare is a great industry to be in and has a higher success rate than most industries. Here are some ideas for entrepreneurs looking at the healthcare industry. First one, medical transcript services. Still needed today, even with all this technology. Number two, medical records management. You can manage the records for providers now instead of hiring their own people to manage it for them. Physical or occupational therapy centers, very in demand right now. Here's one for the real tech people. How about developing a healthcare app? That's a huge technology trend, right? Everybody wants to do everything on their phone. So developing an app would be good. How about a diabetic care center? According to CDC, 9.4% of Americans either have diabetes or are pre-diabetic. That's a huge number. Home health care service. It says you provide in-home care to recently discharged patients. Another big one. As we all know, and we'll probably talk about it later on, insurance companies now want their patients to get discharged faster. So they do need care at home. This one surprised me. Medical foot care. Because of the growing aging and diabetic population, taking care of their feet is very important, and it's becoming in demand. Drug treatment and rehab. As we all know, we have a growing problem with opioids, drugs. So having drug treatments and rehab centers are really important. Here's a trendier one, childbirth services. You know, a lot of rich people, a lot of Hollywood stars, they want to control, expectant parents want to control the way they give, or I should say, their childbirth experience. So offering childbirth services could be a niche for you. Medical billing service for key for providers, of course, and very important for them to be able to bill properly. Nutritionist or dietitian, another trendy pick. Lots of people spend a lot of money on diets, so be a nutritionist or a dietitian. Alternative healthcare, such as acupuncture or massage therapy, for example, another trendy pick. Health information website. there's a growing population that they want to learn on their own. They do their own, what they call that, self-diagnosis. And what do they always go? They look for different websites that they can get information from. So that would be a good one. Medical supply sales, always needed. Very competitive area, but it's always needed. How about this one? Stylish uniform sales. Scrubs are looking more in, well, I should say the younger people that are getting into nursing or becoming therapists are looking for more and more fashionable scrubs. Between you and me, honestly, I don't know how you can make it more fashionable, but there's a way to do it. Go for it. Hearing aid dispensary, generally not covered by insurance, so it could be very lucrative. And lastly, caregiving service. It's going to be more in demand as our population grows. We're going to talk about in this series how to start a medical business. But when we get back, we're going to meet our first guest of the month. Let's take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about the care industry. We'll be right back.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Welcome back. Tonight, we are going to be talking about group home business. We will discuss how important they are, how they help our healthcare ecosystem, some of the challenges that they face, where to get help, and if you're interested in starting one. Please welcome my guest, a group home owner himself and the chairman of ECHO, Elderly Care Home Owners, my good friend Ron Sumbang. Ron, welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening, everybody, and thank you for having me on your show.
Of course, no problem. Okay, the group home concept, I found out, has been around for many, many years. It was adopted from the almshouses concept from England. And the first one here in the U.S. actually opened back in 1832. Oh my God, this blew me away. It was called Indigent Widows and Single Women Society in Philadelphia. They opened. So, okay, let's fast forward today. Obviously, some changes. Ron, please tell us about today's group home and what service do you provide for your residents?
As far as history is concerned, from what I have been told, the first group home that was established here was the mom of the former BHCQC Bureau Chief Wendy Simmons up north. So they're the first one who started the group home business. But actually, even the term group home has evolved, because here we would like to call them care homes, because by definition, a group home is a place where two or more unrelated people live together. A frat house could be a group home.
Gotcha.
But because we provide care, we always say we are a care home. It has a better flair to it, care home.
Of course, yeah.
A care home is a hybrid business. It is in a non-commercial area. It's a residential home, but it is licensed by the state to operate as a business. A care home or a group home is a non-medical facility. So we provide mostly board-in care. And we have statutes and regulations in place that governs us. So we are required to have trainings for our caregivers. There are certain things that we can and we cannot do. And the state of Nevada is, if not one of the most strictest, it is the strictest right now in the whole country. As far as the business is concerned, like what you've said earlier, it is a very thriving business, a very promising business, because right now data show that we have edged out Arizona and Florida as the retirement capital of the whole country.
Wow.
So you're right. We have the clienteles for the facilities.
Well, that's amazing. Wow. That's awesome stats. So, wow, we're becoming the retirement capital of the world.
Yes.
Tell me about these care homes. What are the average number of patients in each one, or do they vary depending on how big the house is?
Yes, that will be the number of clients that you can have in your home. And mind you, I always use clients or residents because as a non-medical, we're not supposed to use patients. That would vary because, again, there's statutes and regulations that governs us. Like, for example, you are allowed to have 2 clients or more in a room if you have 180 square foot or more.
Okay.
So, but you can only have a maximum of 3 in a room. And then you can have 2 clients in a room if you have at least 120 square foot. And then for 1 client in 1 room, you need to have a minimum of 80 square foot. So as much as we would like to maximize the clientele, we, as small care home facility owners or providers, we limit ourselves at 10 beds. Most of them are 10 beds. Because anytime you move beyond the 10 number of clients in your facility, the whole requirement changes to commercial. So it is not financially viable or advisable for a hybrid business such as ours to, unless you have the finances, then go for it. But it is better for just to maintain the census of 10 and below.
10 and below, okay. I know you've mentioned that you're non-medical, but I know for a fact that you make a big difference for these people. Please tell the audience on how being in a group home can significantly improve the quality of life for your residents.
Well, for one, the census. With 10 beds and below, normally we have around 2 or 3 staff, caregivers. If you go to a bigger facility, sometimes they have 1:10, 1:20. So as far as the level of care, as far as the care that we provide, rather, it makes a big difference when you have small ratio. It is more of a personal care. And another thing that I'm proud to say that almost 90% of the care home providers are kababayans, are Filipinos.
Okay.
And in our culture, we have that heart to really take good care of our elderly. It's like an extension of family. Actually, it is. We always say that whoever goes to our care home is a member of the family. Yeah.
No, that's great, and I know you take that to heart. A lot of
yes,
the owners.
I do.
So tell me, how do you get your residents? Are they referred to you, or is it word of mouth, or what's the best way to get them?
There's different ways. We have what we call marketers out there. We have referral companies as well, and then we have word by mouth. When you build a good reputation in the community, in the care home community, then word goes out that, hey, we have a good provider here and there. Another thing too is you do create your own network. So like with us, me and my wife before, we go out, hospitals, rehab, we establish that relationship, making them aware that there is a provider that they can, trust, that they can count on when they need a place for their clients that needs to be discharged.
Gotcha. Okay, this is what everybody wants to know. Anybody who's interested, of course, in opening a business. How does the facility make money? Is it private pay, or does insurance cover it? And if the insurance covers it, what type? Is it, regular insurance or Medicaid or Medicare? Yeah.
So primarily, a lot of our clientels, they are private pay.
Okay.
So based on their retirement income, and the family, the loved ones also pitch in if the level of care is a little bit higher. There's also some programs in our state through Medicaid. We have what we still call it WEARC, Welfare for the Elderly and Adult Residential Care.
Okay.
But actually, they're changing it to FE, Frail in the Elderly. Based on the assessment of social workers, there's 4 levels: level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Although level 4 is temporary. When the client becomes a little bit difficult, they increase the pay. And then when the client is stabilized, then they revert back to level 3. So I still know the old figure. It's $20 plus, because we lobbied before, so we got an increase for 15%. So $20 plus 15%. And I believe the other one is 45 plus 15%. The other one is 60 plus 15%.
Wow.
So
where do you keep that in your head, man?
So and then there are also who accepts long-term care insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as they have that, then the facility makes arrangement for monthly payment from the long-term care insurance company.
Now, I know every business has their own challenges, and it could be a lot. So let's pick the top 2, okay? When you own a care home, give me the top, or even if you're starting a care home, give me a couple of challenges that's top of mind right now. It's really make it difficult to start one or own one.
Well, if you're going to start one, the difficulty right now is the licensing process. Okay, it has changed drastically from several years. Like for example, before, if you're in Clark County, you go to Clark County zoning, and if they don't see any facility within 650 feet, then you can apply in a county business license. Unfortunately, now the process has changed. So you go to zoning, and then you're required to submit certain things, even though they know that there's nothing within the vicinity, close proximity of 650 feet. They would like you to submit your parking plan, would like to submit your structure plans and everything like that. And then in the business permits, I think, or license permits over here by Russell, they would like you to apply in a commercial portal. They call it what do you call that? A change of occupancy.
Okay.
So that alone takes those 2 alone takes a little while, Then you have to submit your plans when you're having sprinkler system, because we're required by the LGU and the state to have a sprinkler system for safety reasons. So because of that, because of what's going on right now, COVID, and then there's an increase of construction. So when you submit your application, it takes a while for them to review.
Gotcha.
And it takes for them a while to send it to you.
Wow.
So now if you make a slight mistake and you have to correct it, could you imagine that'll be probably another month for them to review?
Wow. Okay.
So normally it will take about 6 months, 8 the most, to apply for a license, but now it's taking longer than that.
What, a year?
Yes, a year, over a year.
Wow. Wow.
That's one of the problems. Another problem that when you are already operating, we always say that Nevada is the most strictest. We are so over-regulated right now. Unfortunately, when they create statutes, and then from that we create regulations, I don't know. They should filter. They should remove things that are archaic, old.
Okay.
and keep what is new and what is relevant. And sometimes there are conflicting statutes, regulations that confuses people, and sometimes human nature sets in.
Okay.
You have inspectors. You
Sure.
know, I'm sure they meant really good, but it's so hard when they have their own certain interpretation of certain things. We always encourage them that, hey, come in. You know, we know that you come in because you're passionate about your work. Come in with compassion,
Yeah.
so you will understand why things happen the way they happen in a care home setting.
Very good. Very good. Now, if an entrepreneur or an investor is interested in opening one here, where can they go? I mean, there's a lot to learn, obviously, with just a couple of things that you said. Can they call you?
Yes, please call me. My name is Ron Sumbang. My phone number is 702-824-2571. Again, 702-824-2571. We'll be more than happy to help you. And the way I do my consultancy, the way I help people, I don't push an agenda. I'll give my client all the options. Okay, option A, B, or C, and I'll let them decide based on their situations, which I don't know, because I don't want to be blamed later on that how come you're pushing for this and look what happened. It is not suited for our situation. So I'll give them their options and let them decide, hey, this is the route I would like to go, option A, option B, option C. And I work at their pace, you know.
Very good. I like that. For the audience, you know, I've known Ron for a long time, especially his partner, Joe Tinio. I call them the dynamic duo when it comes to this industry. And let's talk about ECHO a little bit and why it's so important to be part of an organization like that. Ron is very knowledgeable, obviously, with all, you know, just the things that he spouted out here, just of the rules and regulations. But there's, like you said, it's over-regulated. Maybe I shouldn't say that, over-regulated, but a lot of regulations. So it's important to have a backing of an organization that can at least take a look at those and lobby for them. Speak to the audience about that, about joining like an organization like ECHO, for example.
Yes, ECHO, we started it back in 2009 again with, it was an idea of our late chairman, Joe Tinio, who is my mentor as well. And I always give him credit. The pin that I have, this is a promise that I'll always wear for the rest of my life in honor of him. At the time, there's really nobody who is standing up for the rights of the care home providers. There were organizations from before, but they didn't really last. You know, they come and go. And I've seen several organizations that, you know, has done that. ECHO has been strong and solid for the past 13 years. Again, we started in 2009. We started with 3-5 people. And then we just blew. We just grew so fast. And just to give a little background on ECHO, ECHO is Elderly Care Home Owners Organization because we're all elderly care home owners at the time. But we just grew so fast. Now we have the MI, the mental illness. We have Vic homes. We have some administrators, some social workers, some hospice, home health, you know, that join in. So we could not just label ourselves as elderly. So, you know, we thought of what can we call ourselves? So we came up with Adult Residential Care Providers of Nevada, which is a little bit more longer. But we retained that as doing business, ECHO, because ECHO has become well known not only here in Southern Nevada, but also in North Nevada. We have actually an affiliate, and I'll plug in AHON, Association of Homeowners in Northern Nevada, a great organization as well, and we closely work with them.
Good.
You know, when we go up in Carson, they usually host us. You know, but you need the organization. There's a saying in Filipino that walis ting ting, you know, if it's just by itself, can easily be broken, right?
Yeah.
But if you have the whole bundle of the listing thing,
Yeah.
then you cannot just break it easy. We're not very, we don't want to pick a fight with the state. Actually, we want to work with the state.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not antagonistic with the state, contrary to what some would or we're led to believe, but we're not. We want to work with the state. We want to work with them to create sound statutes, reasonable regulations, because at the end of the day, their goal and our goal are the same. We want to provide the best care for our most vulnerable citizens of the state. And they really need that, and they really deserve that. You know, they created the whole country. You know, the baby boomers, as we call them, created the whole country for us. So I guess they deserve the best care that we can provide for them.
That's awesome, and I'm glad that you're truly working with other organizations that way, because you need to be united, especially for this. The more you are lobbying together, the more powerful it is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Ron, again. If you are looking to open up a care home business, contact Ron, contact Echo. He'll take care of you. Ron, thank you for coming to the show again. I appreciate you coming. Thanks.
Thank you, Sonny, for inviting me. It's always a pleasure.
All right. That is our show for tonight. I hope you found that helpful. This month, we're going to be doing small business in the healthcare industry. We'll have a different one again next week. Till then, see ya. Good night.